But listen,
Respectfully, Your Honor,
Miss Pugh,
we're
don't
not
speak over me.
incarceration.
Miss Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on. Listen, Miss Pugh, stop talking over me. If you want to stop talking over me.
Where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
You can go back with the bailiff. Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself if you don't like it.
This one starts off with a clash that you could see coming a mile away. On one side, a judge who has clearly seen it all, and on the other, a sovereign citizen who thinks a few magic words can make the entire justice system vanish into thin air. The judge calmly tries to get through the basics, asking her name, confirming if she has a lawyer, and explaining her options. But instead of answering, this young woman decides to launch into the classic sovereign citizen script.
Good morning. Are you Janetta Pugh?
I am the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the what?
I am the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the beneficiary of what estate? Answer my questions, please, ma'am. I'm just trying to understand.
Beneficiary of that estate.
Okay.
For the record, I recognize Ms. Pugh. She's been here before.
I do as well, for the record.
And I looked into Mr. Christopher Wiley. I can't find that person as a practicing lawyer in the state bar page, and I have not been contacted by anybody on Ms. Pugh's behalf.
All right, so Ms. Pugh, Mr. Lewis has been appointed to represent you at this point. Obviously, you know as well as anyone that you're in custody and we want to get your case taken care of. If you've hired or your family has hired another lawyer, then they have to contact the court so that we can do something with your case. And do you know if they've hired someone?
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree with your appointed foreign agents, considering that the first duty is to the state and will be considered conflict of interest. Your Honor.
Okay, so if you don't want, the only thing I can do, I'm appointing an attorney to you to help you, right? So if you don't want a court-appointed attorney, then your only option, two things. One is to represent yourself or to hire a lawyer. So if you don't like the way it works, then you do something different. So are you, listen to what I'm saying. Are you either going to represent yourself? Or are you going to let Mr. Lewis represent you? Or are you going to hire someone?
Objection, Your Honor. Respectfully, is this a court of record?
It is a court of record. So your objection's overruled.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
It's right here. It's called an indictment. And Mr. Lewis has a copy of it and he can show it to you. So that would be the verified claim against you.
Okay. Your Honor, respectfully, Your Honor, there were writs that was filed to the case that still haven't been received.
I've received your petition for writ of habeas corpus and it's denied.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, I demand to be released due to lack of evidence of stated claim and not being given the proper opportunity to obtain proper counsel, defective defense.
It's overruled.
Okay.
You're running out, aren't you?
No, it's fine.
She keeps throwing around words like trust, verified claim, and foreign agent, as if that somehow overrides the charges. Against her and the judge, she's not buying an ounce of it. Every time this defendant says respectfully, she follows it up by interrupting or refusing to listen. The judge finally snaps back, just because you say respectfully doesn't mean you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful. And honestly, I couldn't agree more. The real kicker here is when the defendant demands to see the verified claim against her trust. The judge doesn't miss a beat. She points straight to the indictment. That's the verified claim. Case closed. But of course, the sovereign citizen isn't satisfied. She tries to argue habeas corpus, demands to be released, claims she hasn't had the chance to hire proper counsel. The list goes on. Now, comma. What makes this moment almost funny is that the judge is actually being incredibly patient. She keeps circling back to the same point. You have two options. Either you represent yourself or you hire a lawyer.
So here's the thing, Ms. Pugh. I appreciate your position, but listen,
Respectfully, Your Honor,
Ms. Pugh,
with
don't
my
speak over me.
incarceration- Respectfully, Your Honor, with my incarceration being
Ms.
involved-
Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on, listen to me. Everything you have there is overruled. And here's one of the reasons why, is because you have a lawyer. And your lawyer will file the appropriate motion. You're interrupting me again, which is disrespectful. So I'm going to leave Mr. Lewis as your attorney unless you choose to represent yourself or hire someone else. I'm going to give you 2 weeks to determine what you're going to do. You can go back. You can go back with the bailiff.
I do not agree or comply to your appointed
Go back.
agents.
You already said that, and that's overruled.
Duty is to the state.
Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself.
If you don't like the court-appointed attorney, too bad. That's how the system works. But instead of listening, this defendant doubles down. She repeats herself over and over, like she's convinced that if she says the same line enough times, the judge will magically agree. Spoiler alert, she doesn't. The judge shuts it down completely, telling her she's going to leave the court-appointed lawyer on the case until this defendant either hires her own or decides to represent herself. And with that, she sends her back to custody. Embarrassing? Oh, absolutely. But here's the thing. This wasn't the end. Because believe it or not, this same defendant comes back for another round.
Perfect. So, Ms. Pugh, Mr. Jeffries has been appointed to represent you. He's just been given, he's trying to get caught up real quickly on all the information and the discovery in your case. I'm going to reset your case so that he can get all of that. Once he gets it, he'll be out there to go over it with you, and we'll see if we can get an announcement at the next court date.
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree to comply with any of your appointed court agents, considering that their first duty is to the state.
I understand. We've had this conversation before.
And for your record, I'll be representing myself.
So if you want to represent yourself, there's some things. Ms. Pugh, stop talking over me. If you want to stop talking over me. If you want to represent yourself, then there is a process that we have to go through, and we'll do that today. If that's what you want to do, we'll get your case set for trial and we'll go forward that way. It is highly inadvisable for you to represent yourself. Lawyers have many, many years of training. They understand the law. They understand how a trial works, because here's what happens. When you're in a trial and you represent yourself, you're expected to know and follow all of the rules of evidence, all the rules of procedure. And so you're really at a disadvantage if you don't know those things. And so you have to do everything just like the assistant district attorney would. And if you don't, you're going to be in front of a jury and it's going to show, and it's just not going to be, it usually does not work out in your benefit. But I have to go through with you some questions first before we do that. And then if you still want to do that, then there's a couple of things couple of options, and we'll go over those as well. Okay. So I am supposed to ask you, I'm going to go through these questions. I need you to answer them if you want to represent yourself, because this is required. All right. So have you ever studied the law? Okay. Have you ever represented yourself before in any kind of criminal matter? Okay. Do you understand the charges against you?
I know we've been accused of.
Okay. And so do you know, and we've gone over before, I think, what the range of punishment is if you're found guilty on a jury? Do you know what that is? Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me pull you up here. We'll go over that again as well. The date of that allegations from June 22nd of 2021. And what that means is if you're found guilty, that the range of punishment that the jury could give you is between 2 years as a minimum punishment up to 10 years in prison, anywhere in between. Do you understand? And you answer out loud just for the record.
Do I understand? No, I don't understand.
What do you not understand about that?
With the same nonsense. And trust me, It only gets worse. So here we go again. A little time has passed, and our sovereign citizen is back in front of the same judge. You'd think maybe she had learned her lesson after the first hearing. Maybe she'd realized the court doesn't run on respectfully and copy-paste scripts from the internet. But nope, she's back at it. This time, the judge informs her that a new attorney, Mr. Jeff, has been appointed to her case. He's just been brought up to speed and is ready to go over the discovery with her. All very standard procedure. But once again, she refuses. She repeats her line about foreign agents and conflicts of interest, insisting she'll represent herself. Now, here's where the judge shows some real restraint. Instead of just shutting her down, the judge actually entertains the idea. She starts.
I don't understand, Your Honor.
So here's the thing. If you want to represent yourself by law, you have to be able to understand these things. Otherwise, I've got to appoint an attorney for you. So you can't just say, I want to represent myself because I don't like the attorney or I don't like the process. This is the process that you're in. You live in Texas, you live in the United States. This is the law that applies to your case. So what do you not understand about the range of punishment if you're found guilty? And I'd be glad to explain it.
I don't understand because I've never even been wrong.
That's what a jury's for, right? And so if you say you're not guilty, then you go in front of a jury and they determine after they listen to the evidence if you're guilty or not. That doesn't have anything to do with if they find you guilty, you understanding that they could send you to prison for between 2 years and up to 10 years. Do you understand that part? What are you, yes or no? No, you don't understand that. So, Ms. Pugh, it's my understanding, I'm not going to allow you to represent yourself because you don't understand the law and the process. So we're on question number 4 out of 15 that I'm supposed to ask you. So Mr. Jeffries is going to stay on your case. I don't care what you want at this point. You can't do it. All right, you can go back with the bailiff. I'm done. Go back with the bailiff. Go back with the bailiff. Welcome to the criminal appointment list.
Yeah, fun, Judge.
This was not meant to be any kind of punishment, I promise. So Mr. Jeffries, just, get ready like you would. Probably it's going to go straight onto a jury. And we'll just get it figured out that way. All right.
Going through the required questions one by one. Have you studied law? Have you ever represented yourself in a criminal case? Do you understand the charges against you? Do you understand the range of punishment if convicted? And predictably, this sovereign citizen crumbles. She either won't answer directly or flat out says she doesn't understand. When the judge explains that the charges could mean anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison, she stares blankly and repeats, I don't understand. At that point, the judge draws the line. If you don't understand the law or the consequences, you can't represent yourself. That's it. The judge cuts her off, keeps the appointed lawyer on the case, and sends her back to custody yet again. Now, I have to give credit where it's due. This judge showed the patience of a saint. She walked this defendant through every possible step, explained it in plain English, and gave her every chance to prove she could handle her own defense. But in the end, it was painfully clear she couldn't. And that's the tragedy of these sovereign citizen beliefs. They convince people that a few phrases from the internet can outsmart the justice system. But the reality? They end up sitting in custody, burning through the court's time and resources, and digging themselves deeper into trouble. This hearing could have been resolved in minutes if she'd just listened. Instead, it turned into yet another round of nonsense, and the only person who lost was her . So what do you think? Did the judge handle this the right way by staying calm and methodical, or would you have cut her off sooner? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because personally, I think this judge earned a medal for patience.